Okay, if you're in a leadership role, you absolutely know this feeling. It seems like every single week there's a new technology, a new platform, a new buzzword that promises to change, well, everything. It's just this constant stream of noise, and you know what? It can be pretty exhausting.
So let's just be totally honest with ourselves for a second. When you hear about the latest AI breakthrough, what is your gut reaction? Is it real excitement? Or is it more of a quiet groan? This feeling of, oh, great, another thing I have to pretend to understand in the next board meeting.
And that right there is the big question for every single leader today. I mean, we've navigated the internet, we've gone through mobile, the cloud, and each time we had to figure out, is this just a distraction or is this a new foundation for how we do business? But AI? AI just feels different, doesn't it? The wave is bigger, the pace is way faster, and the impact feels, honestly, a little overwhelming.
So let's just tackle that question head on. Is this really just another buzzword we'll forget in a year, or is it something way more fundamental?
Look, this is a huge reframing of what leadership even means. Your value isn't just about what's in your head anymore. It's about how you manage what the machines know. The critical skill now is directing the incredible knowledge that AI brings to the table. You're basically shifting from being the sole expert to being the manager of expertise. And this massive shift leads us directly to what the source material we looked at calls the single biggest and frankly the most common mistake that leaders are making with AI right this very minute. It's called the delegation fallacy. And the thinking goes a little something like this. Okay, this is a tech thing. I'll just hand it over to my tech team or hire a chief AI officer. They can handle all the tech stuff, the algorithms, the data, and I can stay focused on running the business. I mean, it sounds logical, right? It even sounds efficient, but it's a trap. And here is the simple, crucial reason why. AI isn't just a software update you can install and forget about. It's a powerful tool that needs your direction, your strategic oversight. And you simply cannot outsource the core of your job as a leader, exercising judgment. And that really builds to this critical point. You can't delegate your judgment on which problems are worth solving. You can't delegate your strategy for the future, and that means you can no longer delegate your basic literacy in the very tool that is reshaping both of those things. So if you can't just delegate it and walk away, what do? The key is to completely reframe how you think about AI. Stop seeing it as lines of code and start seeing it for what it is, a language. Now, this highlights the difference between proficiency and literacy. You don't need to know how to code an algorithm yourself. That's fluency. What you need is literacy. Think about it like doing business globally. You don't need to be fluent in Japanese, but you better know the cultural norms to close a deal in Tokyo. AI is the exact same. It means knowing how to ask, hey, what data was this model trained on? Or what are the confidence levels on this prediction? It's knowing the right questions to ask to challenge the answers the machine gives you. And the consequences of not learning this new language, they're severe. I mean, not learning a language when you travel is an inconvenience, right? You might get lost, order the wrong thing. But not learning the language of AI as a leader, that's like letting someone else drive your company's car at high speed down the highway while you sit in the passenger seat wearing a blindfold. You've completely given up control and you can't even see where you're going. And that loss of control, it has very real, very personal consequences for your role. It ultimately means losing your seat at the most important table in the company. Seriously, I want you to ask yourself this question. In a world where more and more recommendations and big decisions are being informed by AI models, what happens to your authority, your value, when you no longer understand the why behind those decisions? Because when you can't ask the right questions, your credibility starts to erode. You risk becoming what we call a black box leader. You know, someone who just accepts the outputs without being able to probe or challenge the inputs. And once that happens, you're not shaping strategy anymore. You're just managing the outcomes of a strategy you don't even fully get. You've lost your seat. And losing your seat at the table isn't some far-off future risk. It is a present danger. And this reality brings us to the final and maybe the most critical takeaway from our whole explainer. After everything we've talked about, the hype, the complexity, all the risks, what is the single most dangerous action a leader can take in the age of AI? That's it. The most dangerous thing isn't choosing the wrong vendor or launching a project that doesn't quite work. It's doing nothing. It's waiting. It's assuming you can just catch up later. In this environment, standing still is actually moving backward at an incredible speed. It's the fastest way to make yourself irrelevant. So let's just end with this thought. The debate over if AI is going to be transformative, that's over. It already is. The only real question left is right here. That is the strategic conversation. That is the leadership challenge. What happens next? And maybe more importantly, what's your role going to be in shaping it?